I'm just about to change my brake rotor and brake pads for my Discovery 3 2007. I've chosen Bosch's rotor for this one. That's the model number, BD1922, and I have chosen brake pad. Yeah, so that's the model number. Comes in a pair with a new set of screws that bolt into the slider pins. The socket size for the wheel lug nuts is 22 mil. So I use this large breaker to break loose all the knots before I raise the car. And first thing first, I'll remove the wheel, and then I'll get into the caliper, and I'll explain further. Alright, so I've taken the wheels off. Next step is to do the take the caliper bracket and the caliper sliding bracket out. So you've got two, it's 13 mil bolt. So to undo this caliper slider pin bolt, you need to have 17 mil spanner to hold the knot inside, and then 13 mil socket on the other side. So you let it open. So I've taken the both bolt top and bottom. There's two slider pins, so I'm just gonna lever the caliper out with a screwdriver. It's stuck pretty hard in there. What I've just realized is I've sort of broken. I didn't realize there was this bracket wear sensor, which is just that one there. That one there. So I've sort of, you can see it's sort of cracked there when I try to pull it out. So I should have taken that out first before I pull out this top bracket. I will pull the sensor out using a long nose plier, and I'll remove the top, the cylinder bracket, the bracket with the cylinder piston there. Then I'll have to somehow support it using a jack stand there, and I'll tie one of the nut hole, a bolt hole, into one of the structure there, so it doesn't, so there's no strain on the joint here where the hydraulic, the brake oil sort of connects to. Yep. So I'll remove the sensor, which is just here. I hope I haven't damaged it, so I'll try and fix that. Put some glue there. The cable's still intact, so I think I haven't damaged it. So the way it does is that little bit goes into that insert, little U-type U-shaped insert. So I'll try and replicate that in the new brake pad like that, and clip that in. So now I'll be removing the brake pads. It's a bit, it's not that bad. Just pull it out. I'll pull out those clips, and I'll pull out this whole bracket as well, to enable removal of this rotor. And I've got this T45 torque screw here, which I need to undo before I can actually pull it out. Then it just comes off easy. Then I'll swap it with the new one, and then put the torque screw back on. Then this bracket with two bolts just at the back. This has got a very high torque setting. There's one here and there's one at the bottom. It's got 275 Newton meter. Also, to enable a bit more free movement of this caliper piston, you want to take this spit sensor out. There's an M8 bolt 8mm bolt, which is 8mm socket bolt. It comes off loose peasy, pretty easy. Just take it out and put it on the side, so it's easy to push it away while I'm trying to undo this this bolt, these two bolts there at the back. Yeah, so I've taken out the caliper bracket, the holder. I'm gonna give it a quick clean with the brake cleaner. Sorry, it's actually T50. I said T45 before. Yep. Yep. Comes off look easy. Yep. So as you can see, it was pretty well overdue. You can see it's, as you can see, it is well overdue. There's almost close to millimeter sort of depth chewed into, which is not ideal. Hence I'm upgrading it. Yeah, I've put some anti-seize. I gotta line up that hole. There's a hole there. Gotta line up that hole and line up the hole with this. Yeah, line up holes. Yep. I'm gonna put the torque screw back on. Alrighty. Yeah. So the next job is to put the caliper back on with these two bolts up here and here. That's a speedometer sensor hole, which I'll clean up a bit. Looks there's a bit of a gunk in there. I'll put the caliper holder bracket on. I'll have to use C-clamp to squeeze it back out, because obviously the new brake pad will be thicker than before, so it has to be pushed back. So I've got a C-clamp to do that. Also be mindful when you do that, just try and open the oil reservoir cap off, because if it sort of back feeds into the system and if it needs to overflow, it can overflow from there. I don't think in my case it will, but I'll just leave it open anyway. My God, it was tough to get that top and bottom to 275. I suggest getting a really large torque wrench for that. This one's 100 to 340 Newton meter, and it's almost 500, 550, or if not 600 mm long. So yeah, get a bigger one. The next job is to get the clips on, which is pretty straightforward. You'll just clip on here, so it's pretty standard. Just clip on there, and I'll use the C-clamp. I'll use C-clamp like that to push that piston further into, so I have enough gap. So I have enough gap there to fit the new width of the brake pads. The other thing is I'll put grease on the contact, wherever the contact surface are. Grease along here, along here. I'll be putting grease on this side where it touches the brake pad. I'll be putting grease on this side, on at least the 3 side of that square where it sort of slides in and out there, so it's all nice and greased up, so there's less friction. And I use silicone paste for this one. I've just greased up the slider pins as well, and the inside of these bushings, and I'll just put them in and bolt it to the caliper. Okay, so I've mounted the caliper with the new brake pads and the rotor on, so I need to fix this and clip it back on to that little clip there. There, and that is all for the front brake rotor and brake pad change. I'll go and see if I got any excess. No, it's come up more than last time, so when I'm doing the rear one, I'll have to take some out because it'll overflow.